No.
How are you feeling now?
I am not emotionally involved anymore.
Interesting.
So even oh my god. Okay. Do you see what I am doing? You know what I'm saying?
If you were really over it,
Okay.
you would have been like,
Okay. Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Safe Space Podcast. You're here with your hosts Aicha Sabara and
Sydney Rosant.
you know our girl Lauryn. She out and about doing her
Nursing school things.
And y'all send her prayers because I know she's suffering.
Yeah, nursing school is no
Because
joke.
I'm suffering and I'm not in med school, so she has to be suffering.
Nursing school is no joke.
No, literally. But we have a little guest on the pod today.
Period.
If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hey y'all, I'm Nyla Crayton.
She's an old friend of ours, and she's going to be helping us today and giving us a little bit more insight into a lovely topic that we have.
Yes.
Which, Sydney, if you'd like to indulge us.
I just, like, why are so many people our age, like, when they do get into relationships, like, why are they always, like, insanely toxic? Like,
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
have y'all been in toxic relationships?
I think...
Or just, like, toxic
Cycles?
situationships, like, toxic, like, have you just dealt with, like, toxicity with people that you've been
interacting
talking to?
with.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say for myself that I have been on and off with the same guy for 2.5 years? Almost 3 years?
3.
Since freshman spring, since
Miss Nyla.
March of 2020.
Oh, Miss Nyla.
And that's been super healthy. And that we've took 2 years to converse about what we were doing and
Okay. You know what? Some people, you move at your own
Sometimes it
pace.
takes time
You move at your own
to get
pace.
to where you need to be.
Inchworm.
Is it
You
true?
probably could have gotten this done in 3 months, but years, you know.
it's fine. It's going great. I expect to get a message from him in the next couple of weeks as a prelude to being back on campus. So I would say that I'm a shining example of a healthy
Okay.
sexual and emotional relationship.
A wow.
Okay. Sorry.
Aisha?
Have I been in a toxic cycle? I mean, I think there's
A
been
toxic
like
cycle.
I feel like there's been times where I've dealt with like certain toxic instances within something. Not necessarily an entire. I think anything that's cyclical is probably not great.
Yeah.
But certain instances where there's definitely been toxicity where it wasn't needed, for sure.
Yeah.
Have you?
I think I've had the same experience as you,
Yeah.
where it's just like,
It's not like the whole thing is bad, but it's
yeah, I think it's like, you're dealing with people our age, so you're dealing with people that are just like,
like, we're not emotionally mature.
yeah, you're dealing
Immature.
with immature people, and so, like, there's gonna be immature moments.
Yeah.
And I think that's like what I've dealt with. I haven't been like dealing with one specific toxic person for a long period of time.
Yeah.
I just don't have
I don't have the energy for that.
I don't have the bandwidth. I don't.
I don't either.
All right, let me go ahead and defend myself. Really quick.
She's like,
We're like, I know. And she's like, so.
Okay. The pandemic didn't help.
No, that's fair. That's
Because
fair.
he was the only person
fair.
that the only guy that I didn't live with that I saw one-on-one for a year and a half.
Yeah, that was different.
So, like,
you during
that
the
was-
pandemic was a different era.
Yeah, so you cannot fault me as much for that one.
okay.
And we were decently good friends before, whatever.
Okay.
There's a lot
In
of
her
situation, but it
defense,
was...
we didn't even see her during the pandemic. Okay, we were all
At
just
all.
like isolated, but Nyla was really isolated.
Yeah, no.
That was like different. It was
On
like
Life 360?
It was like Nyla has not left her home in 3 months.
No, wait, like the pandemic started in March 20th, and it was like Nyla's been at whatever address since
like
March
16th. It was like
I was
before
like,
the pandemic, they were like,
Literally,
like she will be home.
I left campus and I sat at home and I stayed there. I think the most was like 70 something days that I
Yeah.
didn't leave my house. Like
That
the
was the
furthest
first
I walked
70
was my mailbox.
Yeah. That was different.
So what makes this situation like toxic for you? Like, is it draining emotionally? Like,
so I'll say that up until 4 months ago, it was a problem because I was into him. I genuinely liked him. We would talk or we would hang out once or twice a week, every single week. Then we would hook up and then we wouldn't talk for months. And then even if I reached out, the energy wasn't there.
I need to adjust.
If I reached out, the energy wasn't there. Oh my God.
I needed to adjust. I needed to give her my full attention. It wasn't everything else she was saying. It was that we wouldn't talk for months.
Yeah. I mean, I could...
This is why it's been going on this week.
Scroll through my conversations. And if you ask me what were we talking about, what is it, last November, it would be a real quick scroll. Because it would be what is it, November to February silence. February until April, we're talking multiple times a week. May to July silence. August until November, we're talking every week.
So
why did I continue to do this?
I was gonna ask, how did you get in this place?
How did you? I'm not gonna say how did you get reeled in, but how did you get kidnapped and placed? All right.
But the thing is like she got kidnapped, but like the kidnapper left and like left the door open and the keys right there, and she's she's just sitting in the cage.
He said, "You forgot this."
And you're literally just sitting in the cage, like, when is he coming back? Because like, when is he coming back?
I was kidnapped. She said he came back. The key was sitting in the cage. The cage was open. She said, "You forgot this." So how are you?
You know what? Back to the whole low pandemic thing. The last day that we were on campus, I was, I'm not giving all of this context because it's just going to sound even worse. But long story short.
When explaining the
we were hanging out.
He's like, I won't give you context.
And then there is some other history, but he asked if he could kiss me. I said yes. So he literally kissed me the night before I left to come home, and then I sat at home for 7 months.
Okay, fair. No, fair. No, fair.
So it was just like playing in your head. Also, you had like your whole life planned out with him.
Before that was like very not okay. And it was followed by a not great experience. So it was like, okay, I got into college. I was out and about. Didn't do anything from November until the pandemic started. Then there was him.
Dang. So do you feel like you're kind of holding on to what that...
Stop.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, God.
No.
Oh, okay. Anywho.
You don't understand.
So do you think that you are kind of thinking about or holding on to what could have been from that mid-March time to like when we would have left campus, like had there not been a pandemic?
I mean, yeah. Because at that point we were friends. Before that happened, I had asked myself whether or not I was into him, and I was like, I don't really know. I don't necessarily think so. Then that happened, and I was like,
No, that's
that could have been something.
Yeah. And so now that could have been is kind of what's keeping you here?
I mean, not really. It's mostly just that he's available and it's decent.
So, okay. Are you feeling the same way that you felt back then?
No. No.
How are you feeling now?
I am not emotionally involved anymore.
Interesting.
So oh my God. Okay. Do you see what I am
like,
you know what?
if you were really over it,
Okay.
you would have been like, I don't talk to him, I don't see him, I don't know him.
Actually,
but
don't
she was
remember
like,
the last time I talked
I'm
to
just not emotionally involved.
Oh my gosh.
Whenever it's like mad specific, I just don't believe it.
It's a difference of me actually being into him and wanting to date him and wanting to see him all the time versus now where it's like, I see you when I see you. If I don't see you, it's gonna be fine. Like, if you message me, great. If I message you, fine. Like, it is, I no longer...
So in the event that, let's say this person, just became consistent all of a sudden, kind of gave you the attention that you'd been wanting,
Yeah.
Would your feelings change?
I don't know. Given that this past time that I hung out with him, he fully mentioned that he wanted to be in a relationship and wanted to be with someone who is actually in love with him, and asked what I wanted and asked if I would be upset if he was talking. Like, he was fully doing the whole implying of, I am sticking my toes in the water to see how you would feel if I asked you out. And I was like, it's been 3 years. Like, why are you doing this now?
Yeah.
Instead of last year.
So you ask the questions. I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Wait, I'm asking the questions.
You can ask all the positive little questions.
Okay. Are we gonna talk about her situation specifically, or are we gonna like talk about open it up for everyone else?
We can open it up, but I think she's like on the.
This
on
is
the
not
lightest
as
side
toxic of a relationship.
toxicity that she can possibly be.
My thing is, like, I want to know more so, like, is this or was this situation, if it's really in the past, was it like draining to kind of like have these like positive moments and then for
exhausting.
it to just be,
We would hang out, talk for 4 hours, and then I would see him and he wouldn't say anything. Or if we were with people, he'd say hello. Like, it was maddening. It was awful. It's so frustrating to me in that type of situation.
I don't know how you didn't go off on him at some point, because like I don't have the patience.
Oh, I did. That's part of why we had those conversations.
Oh, okay, I see.
Because I told him that he was wasting my time and like,
I would have been gone there.
He asked me, oh God. Sorry, this is the last thing, then we're going to open up the conversation.
Okay.
There was one point earlier last year where we were talking, whatever. And I mentioned that for me now, there's people that fall into different categories. People that I date, people that I like want to just stay friends with, and people that I just hook up with. Like, those are decently distinct categories for me at this point.
Yeah.
And he asked which one he fell into, and I immediately said just friends, and then I paused and I was like, or maybe just hooking up. And he's like, wait, what? And I was like, I would not date you. Like, we're now at 1.5 years.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Why are you acting surprised? But no, we've had those conversations.
Gotcha.
He knows that I'm unpleased with how he treated me.
He said,
I'm unpleased.
He said, hello.
Anyways.
How are you doing today? How are you feeling about me today?
Toxic conversation.
Well, actually.
Oh my God.
No, in all teasing and joking aside, like, I've heard this story. That's why I'm really just,
She knows too
But
much.
I know about this.
She knows too much about this.
I know about this. But all joking and teasing aside, I do kind of relate to a lot of what she said in the sense of like a lot of the, I'll call them situationships.
Yeah.
I've been in with people who I've genuinely liked. It's been that cyclical kind of toxicity.
Yeah.
And it's very unnecessary and it can make you so, I don't know about you, me, when I get like upset or anything like that in regards to dating, I have this really bad habit of being very toxic towards myself in turn.
Okay.
So it's like something will happen and I'll be like, why am I not good enough? Like, why is this happening? And it like always ricochets back onto me. So I found it extremely toxic.
Yeah.
Not just not the entire thing is toxic, but those toxic moments, I think what makes them the most toxic for me is that I take them home with me. It's not like we're having this conversation in the moment and it's heated and then it's done.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm coming home and now I'm thinking about all my faults. What have I done for this to happen?
Yeah.
Am I good enough? Am I worthy? And as somebody who might have low self-esteem, my self-esteem plummeted during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because everything was social media based.
Yeah.
And I think, the pandemic opened up the conversation of mental health a lot. And I noticed that like, I can be very self-deprecating if I want to.
And you feel like those toxic moments were what was like,
I think they definitely helped catalyst it.
Okay.
Like, if I'd be, like, on the brink, but I could, like, bring myself back. And then something would happen, and I'd be like...
It's more of, like, an amplifier. Like, it just sort of...
Exactly. And so it's, like, now I can't talk to anybody. I can't go. I can't do anything because I'm locked in my home. But I'm feeling all of these emotions that if I had been able to go out or, like, hang out with my friends or do something, maybe it wouldn't have hit me as hard.
I think most of the issue with toxic relationships is just how irregular it is. Like, if you have 3 great, fantastic months and someone is there for you and someone is messaging you and someone is hanging out with you and doing X, Y, or Z, then they switch up. It's like, well, the next time that someone is being good to you, you're more cautious because it's like, when are they going to switch up? When is that going to happen? When is the other shoe going to drop?
Yeah.
Like,
giving, like, attachment issues and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So what do we think is the reason why people are entering into like these kind of toxic scenarios? Like what starts it, or what is like the mindset behind it for both people?
I think like why we get into them.
Yeah, like why does it occur, and like why is it occurring so frequently in y'all's opinion?
I've said this before. I think people are really, really eager to get into relationships because we're at that age where intimacy is something that we always like. We've known of it as like growing up, but we've never really experienced it.
Yeah.
We're now experiencing intimacy for the first time, and we're really trying to figure that out. So people are so eager to just like be with somebody that they like, that will give them quote unquote love or meet their expectations.
Yeah.
So much so that they're willing to drop their expectations or lower their standards to get that, and they're not realizing it in the process.
Yeah.
For one of the people, like for me, it was I'm interested enough in this person that I'm willing to continue to hope that they're going to be what I want them to be and what I need them to be. And then on the other side, it's either that you don't care, you don't know, you're willing to put in the effort, but not for the person that you're currently with. Like, I don't necessarily think that these toxic relationships are two people that, or even one person that's like, oh my God, I hate this person. I'm a super bad, awful person, X, Y, or Z. That's not always the truth. It's literally just, this is the energy that you want or need from me, and I'm not willing to give it to you.
So I think you have a really great point there. And I think a lot of people do not realize that they're being toxic. I think we don't know how to like, because we're like, trying to figure out intimacy and trying to figure out these whole relationships, we don't know how to express ourselves. So it's like if you sit down and you listen to a toxic person talk, right, a person who's like quote unquote radiating toxicity, it's not that what they're saying doesn't have any validity necessarily. It's that the way that they're conveying it is absolutely abhorrent. Like, it's horrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not, I think it has a lot to do more with emotional stability and communication than the relationship itself. I think there are very few relationships that I see that it's like, you're genuinely, like, you're physically doing something that you're not supposed to be doing, and that's why the relationship is toxic.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, this person's cheating, and this and this and this and that.
Yeah.
There are a few of those, but that's not what most of them are.
Yeah.
Most of them is like, I hear somebody say something to you, I'm like, the way he speaks to you is not okay. The way she speaks to you is not okay. They're not communicating with each other properly. It's almost like they approach relationships as a power dynamic, like a power struggle instead of a power like equity and equality.
In equal relationship.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of like, we are two people who are trying to unify each other. We're trying to be in a united relationship, in a united front. It's like, I'm in charge.
I kind of agree with you, but I also think that that's like the byproduct. But I think that for me, the issue is that people don't really know why they want a relationship in the first place, or why they want that specific person, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of times, like if you were to ask somebody like, why do you like this person? Because, you know, I'd be doing that. I'd be like, so what is it about this person that like brings you some type of satisfaction? Like what is it about them? And a lot of times the answer is like, he is nice, or she's nice, or I'm attracted to them, or they're just so, they do this for me, or they open the doors for me, or they paid for my meal, or like all these little tiny things that are indicative of nothing. And then you kind of wonder like, so if anybody is nice to you and attractive enough, is that all it takes? Because like, I don't think people,
yes.
Because I don't think people are thinking about like compatibility. For example, I will never understand why somebody who likes to party every day or every other day is with somebody who is socially awkward and stays inside the house. How is that going to work? Like, and why doesn't that conversation happen until they've been dating for 4 months, and now all of a sudden that person's uncomfortable? Like, you just go out too much and it makes me really uncomfortable, and I don't know what you're doing. I don't want to go out because I don't like to talk to people. But like, but like, why didn't we? Why wasn't that a discussion? Why wasn't that a conversation?
Because people are too eager to impress. They don't care.
That's
about
what I'm saying. But that's the problem.
Also,
that's
some people just aren't honest with themselves.
I think
about
also
what they want
people,
or what they need.
Exactly.
I think people are also very overconfident in their ability to be compatible with somebody.
Yeah.
Very overconfident. Think about it.
I think it's because like you said, I think people think they can change.
Yes.
Or that the other person will change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people, because we get introduced to new things every day. We do things all the time that are different from what we would have done like a year or two ago. So like, okay, this person isn't going to be the exact same as me. You don't want somebody who's the exact same as you. You don't. Okay.
Some of these people are dating people the exact opposite.
Okay, no, but that's what I'm saying though. They're like, okay, this is an opportunity for me to do this. This is an opportunity for me to do that. But they don't think about how that's going to actually impact the relationship. Because sometimes opposites do attract. Sometimes you can make it work. Sometimes there are people who make it balance. No, I've seen it.
I don't believe it.
I've seen it.
I don't believe it.
I
Like the
feel like
opposites attracting. Like
there's
my
some
thing
important things that you have to agree on. So
Yes.
like I was looking at something from one of my classes a couple years ago, where it's like some of the biggest determinants of whether or not a marriage fails or succeeds. It's religion, it's drinking habits, drug habits. It's like, it's not necessarily how you handle your money, but something along the lines of finances. For our generation, it's like you said, it's something along the lines of whether it's how often you drink, how often you go out, how often you party. That's decently important. How focused are you on academics versus other stuff? How important are your friends to you? How important is your family? Like, there's some conversations where it's like, if you haven't thought to yourself, this is my bottom line. Like, I feel like, I don't know about y'all, if I am with someone that I cannot speak to and have a comfortable conversation with any hour of the day, I can't do it. It doesn't work for me. If I feel awkward speaking to you, whether it's out in public, whether it's alone, whether it's with our close friends, if it feels weird for me to say stuff to you, I can't be with you. I'm so sorry. If you don't know that about yourself, if you haven't reflected enough to know what you can or can't handle in a relationship, you're going to hop into one having no idea what this person is going to be like. And then you're going to realize a couple of months down the line, like, God dang, I actually can't sit in this freaking man's bedroom for 17 hours a day.
While he plays video games.
Like, and just watching him play Call of Duty isn't not that exciting.
Yeah.
No, and because people were so willing to drop their standards in order to get into the relationship, they're like, okay, I can deal with this right now. Okay,
Do they
a couple
have
of days where I
standards?
have to sit and do
Let's
that.
be real about these standards that everybody has. They don't exist. They don't exist. They don't exist.
I agree.
I don't believe.
Because you're willing to, they're a little bit too
do you think
malleable.
That's what I'm saying.
They're a little bit too
That's what I'm
petty,
saying.
like.
Okay, this is what I'm saying. Here's a good example of one, right? Oh, I expect him to be in school, doing.
I'd hope so.
Yeah, or have a car, this, that, and the third. So why are you dating a hobo?
But then
Why?
Because we're in college. But like,
Oh,
he's
there's
just
all
dropped
these
out of school,
excuses.
so he's like, he's
All these
working,
excuses.
though, but like his family's taking care of it. So
All
it's
these
okay.
excuses. All these excuses. I want him to be doing something legitimate with his life. I want him to be passionate, but he's a drug dealer.
He's passionate about that.
He's the plug. You're dating the plug.
I'm not the plug. No,
I want him to have grown up in a good home.
I want him to have a good relationship with
But he
his
runs
family.
the streets. He's like Ghost from Power. Like, I'm not understanding.
Why do I feel like she's talking about someone in particular?
It's multiple people I'm talking about, and that's the thing that's disturbing. What do you know about that life?
That's what brought this conversation about. Are you ready to be a mafia wife?
Oh God.
Yeah, let's
Are
talk
you
about
ready
it.
to be a mafia
Let's
wife?
talk about it.
Okay.
When he hustles on the streets, you ready to be in the car in case the police pull up?
That's what I'm saying.
Let's talk.
But on the other
If you
side,
Getaway driver.
about it.
Getaway driver.
I'm not about it. I'll be at the
my
job.
God.
That's when you end up. You know those clips where the wife is like crying. And she's driving the car and the police are just coming. And she's like, I didn't know you did this.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
you did. Yes, you did. So why did you allow it into your life?
But I thought you had high standards. They were never there.
They have high
for
standards
you.
for their husband, not for who they date.
Oh, I got a theory about that. Who
What's
you
your
date is who you
theory?
marry. Because, hold on.
True.
If you practice makes perfect. So if you keep practicing relationships
same people.
with the
wrong
same
person.
with the wrong person,
You're never gonna
when
do
are
it
you
right.
going to? But the thing is, when you do meet the right person, you're going to fumble that bag very
Yeah.
quickly because you're going to be used to relationships with people that you don't. That don't have the same standards as that person.
But you know what? Even with like in terms of the toxicity, we've been talking about like the incompatibility, the not really abusive, like not that side.
Yeah.
One of the most irritating relationships that I find my friends in is like the codependency.
Okay.
I'm sorry, if you don't call that toxic, you are insane. Because if you were sitting
Okay.
there and you have no friends outside of your partner,
Ooh.
and you can't talk to other
That
people
scares
outside of your partner.
That scares me.
And you can live.
Or you have to, like,
I'm talking about
ask
someone in
them.
particular. You live with people that you once called your closest friends, and you can't have a longer than 2-minute conversation with any of them about anything.
Dang.
Why are you dating so?
Spitzer.
Nah, because she was getting sex.
Right?
He heard it. He said,
I'm sorry. That's a toxic relationship.
Toxicity, like,
If you can't talk to
It's
someone
just
else,
so many
you and your
different
partner are having a fight, and you have to sit in your room and pout because you have no one else to speak to.
Can you imagine, like, I can't believe he just said that to me. I can't believe it, but I can't FaceTime.
And it's like most recent FaceTimes, boyfriend, mom.
please. No, my love.
I can't FaceTime Nyla. I haven't talked to her in 7 months.
Literally.
Or that's when you get the random, hey, I was thinking about you. How are you doing? Oh, you're good? I'm glad to hear that. Oh, how am I? Well, since you asked, it's like,
Literally.
how are we doing? We're great, but like also, we got into an argument and like I don't understand why he does that.
Straight up.
I can't.
No,
I can't.
I'm just imagining somebody sitting in a room alone. They're just
Straight, literally.
It's giving misery. It's giving misery. But no, that's a great point about like codependency and stuff like that. I don't know how that happens. I don't know. That's for a therapist to discuss. This.
Not like they'll be
Not my battle.
Also,
Not my battle.
As quick as they are to like drop their expectations of somebody, they're eager to please.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's how it happens.
That is it.
They're eager to please, so they want to be the perfect person. How do you be the perfect person? You attend to them and only them.
Fair.
Oh, I don't have. You need something? Nyla, I'm sorry, I can't hang out today.
Oh my gosh, have y'all seen that
And you
TikTok?
slowly like.
Have y'all seen that TikTok where it's like, if I'm out with my girls and my man texts me like, I'm going to my man. My man.
I think I did see that.
No.
You've never seen that
I
one?
definitely saw
I don't
that.
know where it is. It's
If you're
an
out
old
with your
TikTok.
girls and your man texts you, you going?
Yeah, was it that one? No.
No, I'm asking you.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I'm out with my girls. I'm out with my girls. Like, I'm not going.
If it's like an emergency, like unless
Like,
you
what
are
does he
dying,
mean? But this is my thing. First of all,
why are you messaging me when I'm out with
you
the
could
girls?
meet up
hold on.
after.
This is my thing. I don't just go places. I have a schedule.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you wanted to hang out that evening, you should have scheduled it earlier that week, like my friends did.
Like, Lord,
Everybody who, but you know, I do schedules. I don't do.
Do you have your G-Cal? Or
I
is
don't. It's up here. It's not written. It's in my mind. But if you want to hang out with me, you schedule it. And you know that I'm out with my friends.
Yes.
So like, don't text me like, oh, like I want to hang out. Are you a child?
I mean,
You can't entertain yourself.
If you message me, especially the night of, and it's like, hey, what are you doing right now? I probably won't respond until I'm done.
Yeah.
Or if I do, it's gonna be, I'm out with people. What's up?
Yeah.
Do you need me?
Like, are you good?
You okay?
My
And then
man
if
texts
I'm
me when I'm out
bored,
with my
if
girls,
I
I'm
am
going,
bored,
I wish you would.
the end of the night.
That's
I'm mad
weird.
because I've
That's
never-
definitely
I
weird.
didn't see that.
Really? It's old. It's definitely
It
not
was
circulating
funny.
anymore. But I was just like, everybody, she was getting flamed. Fully flamed. And
Because
rightfully
think about it,
so.
once you're in a relationship, I don't know about y'all, but this is just the way that I navigate. Once my friends are in a relationship, I'm expecting our time together to probably limit. Okay? Our time
Yeah.
together is going to decrease because you're going to have to make more time for the person who is now in your life. The person who has kidnapped you. And
Yeah,
that's
that's
fine.
really how it
and I
be.
understand. But that means when we hang out,
We're hanging out.
we're
Yeah.
hanging out. That means we probably, and we went from, I could randomly hit you up and be like, hey, what are you doing right now? Let's hang out. So I have to make sure, hey, what are you doing Friday?
Yeah.
Are you free?
Yeah.
Okay, let's hang out. And then you cancel on me for your man?
No.
I don't know. I just don't do impromptu hangouts
Horrific.
with anybody. So it's just like, I don't know. Like, it's just, I
You
wouldn't.
see them every other day of the week. and
That's not the behavior. That kind of behavior will get checked very early
Very quickly.
on. Like, I'm
Very
with my
quickly.
friends. Like,
Yeah, have some decorum.
Yeah, literally have some decorum. They come when I'm with them. They come first.
You aren't needy whenever I'm with you in general. If this was your attitude 24/7, this be one thing to talk about.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, I'm with my friends, and now you miss me.
But we're not even talking about the fact that there's a whole category of men where it's like they'll only message you if they're drunk. They'll only message you if they're high. They'll only message you if they're on something. They'll only message you at night. Like. It's a whole thing where it's like, sir, if you were messaging me at 1:45 a.m.
You think there's boyfriends out there doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
There's a lot of men out there doing that for hookups.
Yeah, I know, like for hookups, but like in a relationship,
Yes.
like that's your girlfriend, you can't talk to her during the day?
They're bored and morning at night, so they're like, hey, what are you doing? Yeah.
There's a lot of girls who are, I'm going on a
There's
date with
a
my
lot
boyfriend
of
means I'm staying
girls.
the night at his place this week.
That is not a date. Unless you made me a fantastic dinner and like nice little bottle, like unless you
Like you went out of your
the
way
equivalent
to do
of you putting roses on the bed.
I'm weak.
I mean,
She was like, every part of the floor better be covered in petals.
straight up.
Petals.
I don't need that much, but
Coming
like,
to America vibes.
make it a date. If you're gonna keep me at home, it better be good.
What Bilal should have done for his wife.
Yeah, everybody who's watched 90 Day Fiance,
Tell me how you feel about Bilal.
we're going through it right
I'm
now.
not.
It's for a different episode. For a different episode. I'm not even gonna get into it. But yeah, so I don't know, like what would you guys say is like the solution to these toxic relationships? Like what can people do maybe individually
Knowing
to
yourself
prevent
and
getting
being
in one?
honest with yourself. I think that's literally it. If you know yourself, this is what I need from someone. If they aren't giving you what you need, ending it.
I think as much as people want to be in relationships, do not commit to something like that. Don't. Honestly, there's enough people out there who are willing to have some situationship with you, have something with you, where you can figure out what you want, what you need from a person, and then you can apply it. Don't use the relationship as that, like, necessarily that learning experience, because relationships are learning experiences, but if you're not ready for one, y'all are just both gonna leave traumatized.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of people that aren't ready, know that they're not ready, know that they have a lot of problems.
Want some sort of intimacy.
Yeah, but there's
you can
also
interact with them.
the whole like I need people to accept me for me movement going on, and I don't believe in it.
I don't think people are using it the way that it's meant to be. That's like, I want people to accept me for me does not mean you're going to be crazy and gaslight me 24/7 and I'm going to accept that, because that's not you being you. You're altering reality.
It's literally that I enjoy reading, so you should love me given that I like reading, not the...
Literally.
I enjoy reading your life as a
okay, but that's
and a
how
narcissist,
that's how they're using it. Like the movement has been hijacked and distorted, and I rebuke it. The whole like I'm just looking for someone that is gonna accept, and they always say my faults. Your faults. What kind of faults are we talking about?
God.
Because
don't get me wrong,
because if you're saying that like from time to time you can be a little annoying or like something of that sort, like okay, everyone's annoying. I'm sure I'm annoying, but like. The whole you're a psycho. The person you're with goes out and you're crying. What are they doing?
Your boyfriend followed a girl on Instagram at one point in time.
Literally, you're stalking them constantly.
Or vice versa, they're looking at your location the entire night. You out. Whose house is that? He said he was gonna be at this house right next door. So why is he there?
Yeah, it's
Or
just like
the constant updates. It's like I have to text my boyfriend before I go out.
Why?
I have to text my boyfriend before I drink. My boyfriend doesn't like it when I drink tequila because then other men hit on me. So I'm going to drink vodka tonight. My boyfriend...
No, it's out of
Is your
control.
boyfriend...
No. I saw a podcast.
I
I saw a podcast, and this lady, she had been with this guy since she was like 18. Like she was recently divorced, and she was talking about how because I guess she didn't know her own limit, so he knew her limit and gave her drinking limit. And I was just like, and she was like, I was just so grateful that he, gave me this like drinking limit. Da, 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 da. I'm like, and this is why you had to divorce him. because you're not your own person. But like, it's just weird how like you said, it's like that codependency, and then there's like on the flip side of it, like, why are you telling somebody how much they are supposed to drink?
I mean,
That's
I've
that
definitely
power
had
dynamic I
that
was
with
telling
friends.
you.
Yeah.
Where, like, some of my friends have decided on campus where it's like, you think that you can down 10 shots.
You cannot down
When
10
you've
shots.
downed 7 shots, has had to lift you into your bed at night. So if I'm responsible for you, I will not be
Nyla's the
lifting
She-Hulk.
your double my body weight onto your bed tonight. So that's the only time.
Yeah.
If I know you and you are not gonna freaking black out when you're drinking, I will say nothing and
All
do
I'm saying
nothing. I am
is-
not you.
If you were not willing to text your mother that much to tell her, oh, I'm going out. Oh, is it okay for me to drink this? Oh, is it okay for me to do this and this and that? The person who brought you into this world, you're not willing to text them that much, but you have to text your boyfriend, the person you
If
met
it is
5
not
months
your
ago.
mother,
Okay.
Yeah.
the questions of who, what, when, how long, with who. Sorry.
Yeah, it should not be asked constantly.
By a partner? No
Not
way.
even remotely. Sorry.
Constantly.
And I can understand if you're married, you've been married for years, and the person wants to know where you're going because you live with them, and they have to lock the door at night, and they're like, "Where are you? Where are you going?" You
Like
stay
the
in
alarm
this
is
bed.
on.
You stay in this bed at night, like you live here. Our names are on this house. Yeah, I can understand when they're asking
mean,
you what are
even
you gonna do. Only thing I think what the consensus we've come to is a lot of relationships. I think we're gonna continue to see a lot more toxic relationships. They're gonna continue to happen because people are gonna continue to make these mistakes because they don't. We all don't know. We don't know ourselves. Okay, I'm
don't.
still growing and changing every day. I don't know myself, and I don't know if I know myself well enough to be with somebody else.
It's just fair.
That's just a fact.
fair.
And that's okay.
Do you
That's
think
fine. You don't have to be with somebody else.
is it gonna get better though? I think maybe it
With
will.
more conversation, maybe.
I mean, I feel like for myself, it did. It took a while.
Okay.
It took a minute.
Okay, growth.
But, I don't know. Once you've realized for yourself what you can and can't handle for someone, like you said, like we said, your standards are valuable. It's very unlikely that every single thing that you expect from your future husband is going to be met by the person that you choose to marry.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some things where I'm like, hopefully you'll marry someone who respects you. If you manage to fail that one, I'm going to have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
But every single checkbox won't be checked. But the idea of if you aren't doing these specific things, I can't be with you. I don't want to be with you. That takes a hot second to figure out.
Because
In my opinion, it takes someone that you were with not doing it
Yeah.
and then realizing that you can't do that.
Not
That's
only
very
that,
fair.
but realizing that it's time to break away.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think these toxic relationships are good things. Some people will only learn through experience.
Yeah. I mean,
And
how
I am
else?
learning through their experience.
I'm screaming.
So that's okay. That's good. But continue.
I agree. Like, I think that I don't think the toxic relationships help because to a certain extent, like the amount of time that you're in something, because these relationships, like you said, yours wasn't really a relationship, but that's 3 years of you being like consistently drained emotionally. I feel like, you're poised enough that you'll bounce back. But there's a lot of people that like I question like whether or not they're going to be able to bounce back,
Or whether or not they're going to continue to be in that same
But
type
you know
of
what I'm saying?
relationship
'Cause
with
I feel
other
like
people.
I feel like it's because I've been in talks to people before who are like on the toxic side, but it's like you kind of immediately recognize, I don't like this, and now I can put this into words. You know what I'm saying? Of like, this is something I don't like, and this is something I won't accept. But I feel like some people are getting into the habit of accepting it for too long. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's when the person who is on the non-toxic half of it decides for themselves that they are done with it. And unfortunately, you cannot rush someone into that.
That's
You
what I
can't
was
push
gonna
someone.
say.
You can't pick someone into it. Like,
But respectfully,
you can't do anything
you were
about
talking
it.
about your situation earlier. Now that I've been there since the beginning of that situation, how many times did I tell you this isn't a good idea?
Every time.
How many times? Like in all honesty though, Okay, anytime I've been in a situation similar to that, how many times y'all tell me that's not a good idea? And I would argue that a lot of the toxicity that I've like encountered is really not as bad as like, it's not that bad. It's definitely stuff that's bound, like, it's definitely like, this is gonna upset me for the night.
Yeah.
But tomorrow it's not gonna matter.
Yeah.
But
it really
also,
isn't.
I'll say that at least it seems like for the three of us that there are some limits and some standards where it's like,
lines that
no
just
one is
won't be
going
crossed.
to do this to me. Or if someone has tried this, no one will do this to me again.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does not matter.
For sure.
And
For
a lot
sure.
of people don't necessarily have that or don't have
I
that
feel like-
yet.
But because my thing is like, for certain people, I wonder if the behavior is something that they kind of recognize as normal, right? Like, okay, it's normal for people to talk like this. And you know how people be like, oh, you know, it's normal to fight, right? It's normal to fight. Or it's normal to like go through tough times. And what's not they kind of
Normalize something that's not normal.
Well,
or rationalize something that's not normal.
Kind of like rationalize it, but it's like, I think they think what they're going through is what every relationship goes through, or what every healthy relationship goes through, right? So when they're like screaming at each other and all that stuff, oh no, it's okay because we're communicating. Like, this is healthy communicating. We're just letting it all out. Like, this is just how we are, or something. So my thing is like, for those people, where does the growth happen if they're not even recognizing that what they're in is not healthy because they've been in it for so long? You know what I'm saying?
I think those people need to acknowledge that from the beginning, they probably went into their relationships with that mentality that everybody says go into a relationship with an open mind.
Yeah.
And they're not equating open mind. They're like equating open mind to having like no quote unquote expectations. Like the expectations are supposed to be made along the way. And that's not how that works.
I'll say for like with my friends that have been in every type of negative toxic relationship, for the most part, they, after the relationship ends, they take a couple of weeks and then they start talking. And it's all of the things that they mention after the relationship is done. It's all of the things that they knew were happening while the relationship was going on that they didn't tell me or didn't tell anyone about because they knew that it was a problem. They knew that their partner shouldn't talk to them that way, shouldn't act that way, shouldn't do X, Y, or Z. But they're like, if I tell anyone, then they're going to tell me to end it. But I love them so much and they treat me so good otherwise. Like,
well, at least I had a little bit of shame.
but it really is most of my friends and most of the people I know that have been in those worst types of toxic relationships come out after the fact.
Oh yeah, no.
All of the drama, all of the
No, you're right, because
tea.
it'll be like, oh yeah, and this happened, and then he said this, and then or then she said
I'm
this.
like, where was I when all of this was happening?
You were
Because
there.
I would have hit him.
It was
Yeah.
like you were there.
I
but...
fully would have fist fought.
Or you know what they do? They be gaslighting sometimes. They be like, I
I
told
told
you.
you.
I swear, I told you.
No, you didn't.
I did not know he called you worthless. I did not know he said that to you.
You think I would forget
Like,
that?
he touched you that way, and you let me sit and talk to
And
him
you told me.
for months.
And you told me that he did that, and I
You told me to
allowed
be
myself
friends
to be in
with
the room
him.
with them.
Ciao.
Anyways.
Knowing this? Anyway. So
More-
I'll say a lot of the growth that I've seen in the people where I'm like, please, it's not even get a backbone, but like, please get a backbone. Like, defend the things that you need from someone. They don't tell me till after the relationship is done just how flimsy it was. And then after the
I
fact,
think
I'm
a
like,
lot of it is they don't they see the things now that the relationship is over and they know that it's over. They can recognize all the actual flaws, because if they're saying that they knew that it was wrong during the relationship, I'm sorry, I don't believe you.
because
I
you're
don't believe
defending
you.
it and you're still
Because
with
you
them.
will say somebody you would say it to somebody else, you'd say that it's not right, but I don't believe you. I don't think that you acknowledge that as something that's wrong while you were in the relationship with them.
Yeah.
I think that's the only explanation. You didn't realize that what was happening was as bad as it was until you got out.
I don't know. I think it's just kind of complex because it's not something I've experienced.
Yeah.
So I can't really say if they knew it was wrong or did it. I would assume that with like
You might
just
have an inkling of
intuition that like, I don't know, I don't like this, or I don't like the
Mm-hmm.
way they spoke to me, or something of that sort. Like, or this made me
Yeah.
feel that way. And then like maybe afterwards coming to that like
Conclusion.
full realization, because it does sometimes take like extracting yourself
Yeah.
from situations to fully realize like, woof, like what in the world?
Yeah, like,
It
I was
really
not
Because
is.
people really can be like super manipulative. Like, it's easy, and especially when like you're isolating yourself, like it's not.
Or you're forced into isolation.
Well, but if you're not telling people what's going on, then you are isolating yourself. Because if we're finding out everything after the fact, you weren't really being open about what's going on in your relationship, so nobody can give you
the advice.
But that's the thing, where it's like, if you, I'll say that to anyone who is listening to this right now, if you are in a relationship and you realize that you were hiding significant things from your closest friends and or your family or whoever you were closest to,
yeah, there's probably a problem.
there's a good reason as to why you are hiding it, and it's because you know that it is wrong. You know that the people that love you would not be okay with the things that you were not telling them.
Yeah.
But also, like, I think people sometimes equate, like, your friends being like, you need to leave this person with some kind of, like, judgment or some kind of, like, I don't know, like almost as if it's like a parent telling a child, no, don't eat the cookie kind of thing. But it's like, we're not upset at you. We just don't want you to be
actually, we
in
care
a bad,
too much.
exactly. We don't want you to be
that.
in a bad situation. And that's why we're like, please leave, please leave.
I'm not judging you for being in this.
Exactly.
None of us are judging you for being in
yourself in it
this.
willingly.
Exactly.
If you had to go back, you would not do it again.
Exactly.
You know you wouldn't.
But just be fully honest. Like, if you're gonna say what's going on, say the full thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, ultimately you need the outside perspective, and the lack of it is going to keep you in a situation you don't want to be in for an extended period of time, because then after, like, that's what I believe, after a certain period of time it's going to become normal. You're going to think that this is how relationships go,
and sometimes the relationship is bad enough that people on the outside will notice, but that's not always the case.
No.
How many times have you sat and you've heard the worst things, and it's about somebody who you interacted with, and you're like, oh, I thought this was a chill person. I would have never guessed.
Least favorite thing is sitting there where it's like, oh, this is such a good and cute and healthy relationship. Wow, that's adorable. And finding out immediately after, it's like, now, why did I say this?
But it's easy to make something look like post
that.
cute photos on Instagram. They're
People don't
always
think you're happy.
there's always a lot of PDA and everything.
Hold
like,
hands in public.
literally that's all it takes.
Show up to a party together. Now you are a happy couple.
That's literally all it takes.
So it's like, and the moral of the story is like, it's not your fault, and it will never really truly be your fault for being in a situation like that. You can't control how other people treat you, but what we can control is how we view ourselves, how we view our worth, and what we are willing to accept and what we're not willing to accept. And as long as you have a high, like, you have high standards for yourself, things that you wouldn't want somebody to treat you that way, you wouldn't treat somebody that way, so you don't want them to treat you that way, you'll be fine.
You know what?
Yeah,
Actually,
I think
Sid,
it's
I have a
like-
question. For you, what would you say are your very basic, like, your lowest ball standards? What can no one violate?
Well, no physical. I don't fight. I do not. I don't. I call the police. That's what I do. So we not even gonna go there.
Sounds good.
No raising of voices. Absolutely not. You will not raise your voice, because we'll sit there in silence until you get it together. I'll literally put you in timeout. Like, timeout, because we're not gonna, like. No, absolutely not. No cursing. Like, when you're upset.
Like, yeah.
No, F you, this, that, you're this, none of that. Absolutely not. You need to be able to articulate your thoughts in a not necessarily eloquent manner, but, like, you need to be able to articulate it without those words, right? Yeah. So I think it's pretty simple. Let me see. You said bare minimum, right? Like, yes. Lowest level. I guess it just be respectful. Like, just be respectful. Like, don't be malicious. Yeah, that's all I can think of at the moment. But yeah, like.
Do you have anything to add on to that?
Just be respectful, and do not make me feel like I'm being a burden to your time. I don't like that. Like, if I'm going out of my way to spend time with you, like this, like, if I feel like you're not enjoying being around me, I simply won't be around you.
Yeah.
Like, we can go days without talking, and that's fine. Like, if I feel like I'm being unappreciated by being around you, like, and I'm not talking like, oh my gosh, show me appreciation. Every time I see you, I want a gift. No. Just
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like, and then the other thing is like, I don't know if this is, I guess this might be bare minimum for me, but like, I kind of expect you to tell me how you feel about things without, I guess, like blaming in a way. Cause like sometimes, you know, unintentional things happen.
A coaxing.
What?
A coasting.
Oh,
Like coaxing.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Like
coaxing things out of you.
Yeah, like just tell me how you feel about stuff just in general. Like, hey, I don't like that this is happening, or I like that this is happening, right? But don't like you said, like don't try to get something out of me or whatever. Like just state it like it is, and then I can tell you what my thoughts are on it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like things are just a lot smoother that way, as opposed to like the little mind games and tricks that people like to play to figure out what I might be thinking about this, that, and the third. Because once I peep the games, like it's just going to make me annoyed.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume.
I'm like, what do you have to say? Just spit it out, like that kind of thing. What about you? What's your like bare minimum?
I mean, pretty much what y'all said. I feel like the last thing for me is, and this is not going to sound great, but kind of just like, don't make me feel embarrassed of being with you.
Yeah.
And that like, if we're sitting here and I'm trying to explain to someone about how you have treated me or what we're doing or anything like that, and I am mad embarrassed talking about you.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
I can't be with someone that I can't at least mention to my friends without them laughing.
Yeah, like don't make me look like I made a bad choice.
Don't make me look dumb.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
I know, I feel like maybe it's an implied thing. If you cheat on me, it's gonna be over. I feel like this is a pretty basic, bare minimum. Like, if you are with me, you're with me.
It's just like at this age, right? We're not Hillary Clinton, Beyonce. We're not in our 40s, like with children and stuff. Like, there's no reason to stay with someone.
If you want to be single, be single.
Yeah, there's literally no reason. There's no positive reason for any of us to stay. Like, for what? Oh, he treats me so well. Obviously, he doesn't.
Well, he's treating other women that well, too. Anyways, my point is, that's the main thing. So, if you're gonna be with me, you're gonna be with me.
Period.
Other women.
I know.
Period. Let them know. Monogamy.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Where it's like, if we're talking, it's fine. Mm-hmm. But once you ask me to be exclusive,
none of that.
And do you see how it morphs the more we talk about it? When you hear other people's standards for themselves, you're just like, okay, wait, you're right. And on top of that, that conversation needs to happen, guys. We need to be communicating with each other. We need to understand, because sometimes...
But we also have to hold fast to it.
No, I think that's the most important thing.
That's why I said the bare minimum. Like, if someone doesn't fulfill this, if someone raises their voice at me, if someone freaking raises a hand at me...
Oh, you're done.
But how many times...
I can't do it.
But how many times, like, it's like, I don't think people understand that, like, your word should have value. Like, when you tell that person, if you do this, or this, I'm out. If those things happen, you have to go. If you're not positive,
you need to be on your principles.
But my thing is, no. If you're not positive that you would leave if those things happen, don't utter those words. No. Don't utter them. Don't say them to anybody.
All over.
Literally. Just be silent. If like there's a possibility, like if they did raise their voice at you, let's say somebody's like, maybe they on that Italian type stuff, they like yell, right? And they're like, I might stay. Don't try to be someone that you're not. Don't say like, oh, if you yell at me, I'm leaving you. They're gonna test you. Because they're going to test you.
Straight up is the very like, no one can hit me.
Oh, you put your hands on
my parents didn't freaking hit me for the most part growing up. If my father did not touch me, there's no chance in the world that you are going to.
I said what I said. Respectfully, if you're gonna put your hands on me, you better kill me. Because one way or another, it's gonna be worse for you if I'm still alive.
In jail.
That's what I'm saying.
It'll be bad for you regardless.
I think the thing is, like, if somebody were to put their hands on me, I'm like, this is it. Your life.
This is it. You've ruined it.
I'm not gonna kill you, but like, in every other way possible, it will be ruined.
But
anything that you do, you need to change your name. I'm being so serious. You need to run.
You need to run.
Actually,
if I don't give you my brother will. My brother will.
I don't want anybody to touch you. I got it myself.
So Cindy's different.
You get a job. You get a job. Did you know that he hits women? I'll be following you around.
For the rest of your
Like,
life,
that's
bro.
my
For the
whole
rest of your life.
My whole life will be to make your life
Dedicated.
awful.
Dedicated.
Oh, you're out of jail now?
You know they hire people to do that. That's a private investigator.
Oh, you just got out of jail? Well, looks like I got a job as a parole officer. And I happen to be yours.
Now you working at the jail.
I'm the guard. Hi.
Oh.
You guys know that he hits women?
You know what?
No, you tell the other person. You know he hits women and children.
No. But I think my biggest
It's just like you figure out what the rest of the prisoners are like. What's their no? You know he does that. I didn't say.
Repeatedly.
I know the victims.
This is his room number.
They were
by
gonna
the
put him
way.
on death row. They just didn't have enough space.
They didn't have enough space, so they put him here. But you guys can do with that information what you will.
But anywho, we're gonna wrap this up.
Yes.
It was a very solid episode. Thank you so much, Nyla, for joining us.
course.
And thank you for being vulnerable about your situation.
Period.
Oh,
This is
God.
what we love. This is what we love.
Thank you for letting us,
Love.
tease
Content.
tease you for a little bit about it. The moral of the story is thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it and sharing your experiences and your beliefs. And honestly,
But yeah, I mean, thank you to the viewers for sticking with us this far. If you're still here, remember to subscribe, like, comment, share.
let us know your thoughts on what we're talking about.
If you'd like to
Precisely.
continue making fun of me, feel free.
Exactly. We'll put her.
bully Nyla now.
We're gonna put her at in there.
Only
So
we can bully Nyla.
Exactly.
If I catch them bullying Nyla,
They're gonna be
it's
like,
no longer
dang, not 3 years.
It's no longer the safe space.
Dang.
For y'all's benefit. Don't do that to my
Exactly. It's
girl,
a safe space.
This is a safe
It's
space. It will no longer be safe if I catch y'all bullying Nyla.
I'm screaming. But
No,
anywho,
yeah. But you guys know the drill. Let us know how you feel. If you have any thoughts, comments, concerns, experiences you guys have had that we can piggyback off of, talk about in the next episodes. And you guys got our Instagrams,
exactly.
our socials. Reach out to us with whatever.
Follow us, DM us,
Follow, yeah.
like
We
our
love to talk
reels,
to-
because
yeah.
y'all be liking them now. Apparently,
But follow us.
yeah.
Follow.
Y'all like to like. Hold on, we gotta clip this one. Y'all like to like the reels. We got like 8,000, 6,000 views. Yeah, we kind of popping off on Instagram. Yeah, but follow us because we only have 66 followers. And it's kind of embarrassing. Like, how?
The ratio is
How?
not working in our favor. My phone be blowing up.
No, literally blowing
It's
up
like,
all the
and
time.
I'm just
Today
like,
even.
No. So we appreciate the likes. We'd love some follows. We'd love some more comments. We want to hear what you guys think about it. Especially if you guys are liking the video. We're doing
Exactly.
something, right?
Exactly.
So let us know what you think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
but
all we got.
That's it for the Safe Space Podcast. Arrivederci.
Peace.
See you.